First cupkc, unique, hustle hard music. Yeah. First cupkc, start your day off with a cup of Joe and positive convo. First cupkc, shine a light on the ones that work hard from Kansas to the Mo. First cupkc, motivate, educate, inspire the youth to be great. First cupkc, believe in yourself is the key to make a change. It's never too late. First cupkc. This broadcast is a No Solutions podcast production. Yeah.
Welcome back, people. Today on the show, I am traveling all the way to York, Pennsylvania via Zoom to interview a very talented young lady. Along with her husband, she makes her wealth from investing in multifamily properties. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Hilary Graves from Bright Sound Investments to the show.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
I know. For a second time. I mean,
What?
I know, man. So
I don't know if we were going to tell everybody that secret, but
yeah. Well, I like to be honest. I like to be honest. I know we recorded a episode a couple of weeks ago, and we had some issues where we lost all the sound in 3 minutes into the broadcast. So I think everything happens for reasons, even though that was some awesome conversations we had. But let's see if we can get this thing back, and hopefully the sound will not leave us this time.
Lucky me, I get to talk to you again.
Yes, thank you.
And we're gonna call that last one a rehearsal.
Yes, rehearsal, like rehearsal dinner.
Yeah, so this one's gonna be better. This is the real thing.
Yes, I love it. And like I said, you got a vibe about you that this is going to be awesome. I love it. But first, I want the audience to know a little bit about who I'm speaking with. So, Hilary, do you want to take a couple of minutes to tell everyone who you are and where you're from and yada, yada?
Yada, yada. Absolutely. So I'm Hilary Lee Graves, and I'm from York, Pennsylvania, and that's where I am right now. I grew up in a family of two sisters, Amy and Meredith, not in that order, Meredith and then Amy, and awesome family, loving parents, musical family, athletic family. And we were into a lot of extracurricular activities, and our parents supported us a lot. But the thing that I was really good at was music and playing the piano. So I did that from a very early age and ended up majoring in music and becoming a music teacher and a musician. And ended up writing a lot of music and playing the piano somewhat professionally, playing the piano for, performing groups and at concerts, and still do it sometimes at weddings and things like that, opera company. And I love it. I absolutely love music, and I will always
tell.
do music.
I can tell. You happy to talk about it too. So,
So, and my house is still full of music because I now am married with two beautiful children, and they both play instruments, and it is awesome. So, my husband and I got into real estate a couple of years ago. We started buying small multifamily properties, and then we jumped into the bigger game with a lot of help. Couldn't have done it by ourselves, that's for sure. But we teamed up with some very experienced people. And that's where we are today, buying some big buildings.
Big major deals.
It's really fun.
I remember in some of our earlier conversations, we discussed a little bit about some health issues that you had back in the day. I want to go over those health issues a little bit because I like to point out how we become stronger when we go through the obstacles in life. So let's talk a little bit about those health struggles and how you were able to overcome them.
Yes, that is a big part of my story. And, the funny thing is I was a gymnast and a cheerleader, like all the way through with these little breaks where I'd have a surgery and then I'd get back into it. And then I'd go have another surgery, or I'd have to at one point I had Perthes disease, where I had this like really rare bone disease. I was 7 years old when I was first diagnosed. And this is another amazing story in my life, where I had been playing the piano, I had been doing gymnastics and playing the piano at home, like just myself, for fun. And then all of a sudden I got this like rare hip disease, and I was told I could either have surgery and be off my leg for like 6 months, no walking for 6 months, or I could opt for no surgery, but then I couldn't walk on it for 2 years. And that actually cures it when you don't walk on, put any pressure on the bone for 2 years. It kind of heals itself. I opted for that.
Because no one wants to get cut.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've had like so many surgeries since then, but that would have been my first one. And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want to, do that. So I could not walk on my right leg for 2 years. Wow. And obviously could not do gymnastics during that time. So what did I do? I took up piano lessons. Smart.
I mean, who would have thought?
And ended up being like the love of my life, music. So blessing in disguise, you might say.
Yeah.
And then I've had a couple of those along the way where at one point I had to fly out to Nebraska, like emergency, let's go to Nebraska, because I had this weird hip thing.
What part of Nebraska?
Omaha.
That's my hometown.
Get out.
Yes. That's why I asked you that. Yep.
Well,
I'm a go big red guy. So,
right.
Yeah, I'm from Omaha, Nebraska. I went to Omaha, Burke, and all that. So I moved. I moved down here in 2008. So I've been here just about 14 years or so. So
you spent more time in Omaha than you spent in Kansas City so far.
Yeah. Well, so remember I told you I went to jail when I was very, very, very young?
Yeah. Okay.
Those are the people who said, I think you need to look at some stuff while you're this young, and maybe it might change your mind about things.
I see.
It didn't work, but no, Omaha, Nebraska for surgeries. And that was because of the hospital and
they thought I had, at the time, a certain kind of bone cancer. And I didn't. But the doctor that was the specialist for that kind of cancer was in Omaha. And this thing was found, like this tumor, or it was actually a bone cyst. But what they thought was a tumor was the size of a grapefruit when it was found. So it had already grown to this size. And so my doctor was like, oh my gosh, like we got to take care of this, like stat. If this looks like a certain kind of cancer that I've seen before, and I'm going to send you to the best doctor in the country for it. And that's in Omaha, Nebraska. It was the University of Nebraska Medical Center.
Yep.
And so I really didn't see much in Nebraska while I was there. I saw the inside of this hospital. I think I was there for a total of 25 days, two different trips. And, but I had the time of my life. Honestly, like I had so much fun there. The recovery from surgery was not particularly fun. But then, after the first initial couple days of that, made really good friends with the nurse. Like kept in touch with her for years. She was awesome. Met some other patients that I kept in touch with, like friends, and I don't know, it was just so fun.
Like it's a good place. I had to get out of there, but it's a lot of good people there. I got some great mentors that definitely helped me through a lot of dark moments. So you will find good people in some faraway places, I tell you. So it's good you got to go experience it, but I'm sorry you have to experience it under those conditions. But you say you're married. How long you been married?
I should know this right off the bat. 2005. So 17 years.
Yeah, a long time. You got kids.
Yeah, wonderful husband and wonderful kids.
How many kids?
I have two kids, 13 and 10.
Boy, girl?
A girl and then a boy.
And what are their names?
Maylee and William.
Maylee. Is that
And
May Lee? Like
May,
Lee? Because I know your
like,
middle name is Lee.
we have a little connection with that.
And my middle
I
name
heard.
is Lee. No, so is Maylee one word or two?
It is one word. It is
Oh.
one word.
So you chose to put your little business all up in the middle of things.
I did. And do you want to hear a little story?
Tell
A
me.
little one.
Just
Okay,
give me
man.
it. Just give it to me.
This is it's kind of epic. So my husband and I went to South Korea
Really?
when we were first married.
Mm-hmm.
We taught English. It was amazing. While we're there, I get pregnant. We get pregnant. However you want to say that. So we come back,
Mm-hmm.
have the baby, to have the baby. But okay, we get the ultrasound. This is back in 2008 when we had the ultrasound. She was born January 2009, and they tell you if it's a boy or a girl. So they told us it was a boy. That was false, but that's what they
Yes.
told us.
Yes.
And so we paint a cowboy mural in the room. We have a boy shower. We get all the boy things. And my belly is Will. Like, I'm calling it Will. Like, I'm so excited to meet Will. I'm having dreams about Will. And the day before my due date, actually, I have an ultrasound, and the ultrasound text says, now I forget, did you guys want to know what it was, or did you not want to know? And my husband says, yeah, you already told us it was a boy. And he's like, I told you it was a boy? It's not a boy. He's like, oh my gosh. He goes, I've never messed this up. I'm serious. It's a girl. We're like, you're kidding. You're joking with us. No, I'm serious. It is a girl, like, for sure. So we had a moment there. We're like, oh my gosh.
Wow.
Okay.
You're hoping for the boy.
We're like, we didn't really lose anything, and yet it's not Will. What the heck? So we had to come up with a name really quick there. And so I was thinking through, like, some of the names that I like. Ended up coming up with Maylee because it was a Korean talk show host name that we had seen in Korea. And that I liked. And then it had my middle name in it, and we just liked it.
That's neat. It is a pretty name, though.
Oh yeah.
That is pretty. So 2 kids, husband, long relationship. You guys eventually, you guys went into business together on your own. So now you guys are bringing in your own money. You don't have to worry about the money coming in from someone else. How did you? So you sold. You bought and sold regular houses, right? And then you stepped up and got into the bigger house, the multifamily homes.
Yeah, we started by buying, like, the smaller like, our first thing we bought was a 5-unit.
Mm-hmm.
And, we learned it that way. It had a vacant unit. We ended up renovating everything ourselves. In the first unit, we did the whole thing ourselves with the help of family. But,
right.
Painted, put in a new floor, all that stuff. And then each time we would turn a unit and we, need a new tenant, and we would want to upgrade the unit and get a higher rent, we would hire out a little bit more of the work, and till it's at a point where we only do what we want to do ourselves.
Right.
And my husband likes to do that kind of stuff, actually, some of it. So he's like, no, I'll change out the light. I like doing that.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, if you like doing it and it's not like work, then it's worth your time to do it.
Right.
But
me,
you don't need to do all that stuff yourself.
Me, I'm tired of working.
Yeah.
I'm going to work until someone replaces me. And then I'm moving on to something different, and I'm probably going to work some more. But I don't like working, but I like pushing myself out of work. So how did you guys actually get into the whole multifamily thing? Because there's if there's listeners out there that want to get into it, I want to kind of like help showcase how it's possible. A lot of people don't even realize that it doesn't require all of this stuff to do it. So help walk us through the steps on how you got started and how we can get started.
Absolutely. So I'm going to take it from two angles. The first one is if you want to be the active investor, which is what we are, and you want this to be your full-time job. So that's one angle. And then the second angle I'm going to go with is the passive angle, which is an amazing thing to do if you maybe are retired or you like your job or you just have some extra cash laying around. There's a great way to make money just investing it passively too. A lot of people don't know about that. So from the active side, we actually hired a coach, and that was a game changer for us. We were kind of self-educated at the beginning. We were reading books and listening to podcasts and all of that. You can certainly learn a lot doing that. And then jumping in, that was a huge learning curve too, a learning experience for us. But to take it to the next level and to kind of skip like 10 years worth of us just kind of figuring it out on our own.
Right.
We hired a coach, and through that met a lot of other people. And that's where we met our partners, where we partner up with people now who they're more experienced than us. Like there's no question. We kind of rely on them a lot to make sure it's a great deal before we would buy it. And,
so they do all the research and they help set the deals up. And
yeah, I mean, I would say we do it together. Like I might find a deal, but then I would just make sure, like, what would your business plan be? Like, would you do this, or is this number 3 a bad idea? Like, have you ever run into this before? Right. And that's just based on experience. Like the more transactions you've done, the more you've run into certain situations, because every single one is different. Every single one throws a different curveball at you. So it's nice to have an experienced active investor on your side. But from the passive side, we do this, we've done this too. This is kind of like the first step that we took. We became passive investors in somebody's apartment deal. And like you literally just wire money at the bank. That is it.
And sit there.
You just sit there and you get a return that is like, it's almost just as good, sometimes even better than if you had bought your own little duplex and tried to like rent it out and do a lot of work, like to make that happen. You almost get the same return, sometimes better, depending on the deal. And like you literally do nothing. I think a lot of people don't know about it. There is a little bit of a barrier to entry. Usually the minimum investment is like $50K. Sometimes
I mean, it takes a lot of money to make a lot of money. It takes a little money, but you can make a lot of money, but it's going to require a lot more work. So,
yeah,
I mean,
right. That's right. And we had if we're buying something huge, we're bringing in a lot of investors, and you don't want to have like 200 of them. I don't know. You don't want to have like so many that you have to communicate with every single one. Every single one could be asking you questions. So if you make the barrier a little bit higher, you have less people involved in the deal, and it's just easier to manage, all together. Right. So that's one of the reasons they do that.
So
anyway, it's a home run investment. I recommend it.
I like the whole idea of not having to be the turnkey person involved. So I love that aspect of it. But you're a music lover.
Oh, totally.
How did music become your passion? I mean, I heard you talking about the piano thing in the beginning of the interview, but how was it? Was music something that you did as a child and you grew into it, or was this something that became a passion because of your illnesses and your injuries?
Yeah, I think it's a combination. I started with piano lessons, and when you take piano lessons, it's not like magic happens every time. You're really you're learning the fundamentals, and you're learning how to read notes and all of that. So it's not, I can't say that I was like, oh, wow, this is like the awesomest thing. But from the beginning, I guess I realized pretty soon that I just kind of had a knack for it because I could memorize anything.
Mm-hmm.
So that was fun. That kind of kept me hooked. Like, oh, I have this like special skill where I can memorize music and like not have to look at the music. And then with that, I learned how to do, I guess it was probably like late high school and then definitely in college, I was playing the piano for a worship team.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of where I learned how to improvise. And I was like reading a chord chart. That was like the first time when I realized I can be like making up all kind of stuff.
You could
like,
create your own music.
I can create my own music. And I had made up a couple little like classical type of pieces when I was younger,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't realize how all of the chords work together, like within a key. If you're a musician out there, you know what I'm talking about. Where, if you have a song in your head, you don't have to like think, 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 figure out which note is which. You can kind of like, you can hear it in your head and then just really play it like the first time.
Because you know what your chords are.
Yeah, you know what the chords are, and then you know like which note of the scale is in your head because you know where do is.
Yeah,
right?
That's pretty neat. I used to always wonder how the heck do they do that stuff? But I guess it would be in the language, and the language for music is in chords. And
absolutely. That's a great way to put it. It's a language, and you might be a natural at getting the language, but you still have to put in hours of, it's just doing it.
Yeah.
You just practice doing that and like making up songs. Yeah, that's practice. You got to like keep doing it and doing it. You get better every time.
Yeah, I think that's kind of how I was with those cups. When I first started doing my first cups, I wasn't as good, but over time. So consistency makes you a master.
Absolutely.
And you've been doing music for how long?
Since I was 7.
Golly.
Since I was 7.
Man.
I'm 44.
So you are a master. Well, they say 10,000 hours is all it takes for someone to be a master. And I'm pretty sure you got over 10,000 hours in the...
I know that I do.
Yes. So I know I jumped around a little bit with the music thing. I want to get back a little on task of where we were before about the getting into your real estate. How many units do you guys have as of now? How many doors? You guys scale it in doors, right?
Yeah, we do. So we have like 137 of the big ones. Mm-hmm. And then the smaller ones that are like actually in our back door, we have 7.
Okay. So, and you guys been doing it for how long?
A year and a half, not that long.
So you, 2 years ago, you only owned your own home.
That is correct.
And from 2 years till now, you guys have managed to accumulate almost 200 doors.
Yeah.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
What are the challenges of that? It's got to be some challenges. I mean, what is the hardest part about doing what you do?
Hardest part?
So I have a investment group that I started a couple of years ago, maybe 2 years ago, called TAMIC. And it's an acronym for the American Mastermind Investment Club. We're made up of 14 members, with me being one of them. And I think we got about 9 of the members that are business owners. One of the business owners being in business for almost 30 years, and another one of our big business owners has been doing it for about 14 years. So a third of what we invest, what we contribute goes to the stock market, a third goes to real estate, and a third goes to creating small businesses. So that's why I'm asking these questions, because that real estate part, that's right now our pot is growing because we're trying to get into the multifamily aspect of the real estate market. You said and that's how I knew about the minimum being 50K.
Yeah.
And we did a little research on the 50K too, and it does have a good turnout. It does have a good turn back that comes in, but along with that, I think we just want to put in a little more. I don't think we want to just go with the 50. We might want to try a little bit more than that just to see what type of outturn it is. But my question is, you put $50,000 in, and you're saying you guys have done these, you've turned these deals, $50,000 put in, and you mean to tell me you got your return on that 50 numerous amounts of times in less than 2 years?
Well, it's complicated. It's complicated.
And that's the point I'm trying to get to. Because I know we have listeners that's listening, and I know that they're going to want to know how's it?
I'll tell you.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I'll tell you. My personal situation is a little complicated because I'm on the passive and the active side.
Yeah,
right?
you're double dipping.
So, but for a passive investor, you're usually looking at 5 years that your money's going to be held up.
Right.
That's kind of like the norm.
Okay.
I would say. Sometimes they only hold the property and then sell it after 3 years. And sometimes it's 7 or 10, but 5 is probably, the norm.
Is it dividends that come out?
Oh, so, in general, what we tell people that are, potential investors is that if you give us 100K, let's just say, it's an easy round number, we are going to come close to or more than double that in 5 years. So that's kind of easy math there. Like whatever you give us, just double it in 5 years. It might not be exactly double.
Right.
It might be less than, it might be more than, but that's kind of a general.
Right. It's like a ballpark.
It's a ballpark. And, compared to the stock market, even if the stock market were doing getting you 10% a year, which has not been doing for the last 15 years, but let's just say it were, that's like the average over the last, 100 years or something like that is like 10%. That still would not get you double your money.
Not even close. So, yeah, the odds are good. They seem like they're not because time kind of like waters things down a little bit, but delayed gratification, it pays.
Well, and it's not all delay because you also get some you get some distributions.
Oh, so they dividend distribute. How often do they do that?
It depends. Everything is a depends.
Yeah.
But it's usually quarterly. Some people do it monthly, and some people don't do it at all, and they save the whole thing to the end because their business plan is to do the whole thing really quick, like in 3 years.
Yeah.
So they save all the distributions. They say, you know what, we're not even going to distribute. We're just going to do all of our upgrades right now.
Right.
And then we're going to pay you sooner, the big chunk.
Yeah.
So
I like the big chunk sooner thing.
I like it too.
I mean, you're just going to spend it as soon as you get it anyway, or someone's going to take it from you. So just hold on to it. So
or reinvest it in another deal and make it grow.
And that's what we're trying to do now. We're trying to every little bit of money. So I own an electrical lighting company too.
Nice.
And that's called Luminous Technology. So if you want to check it out, it's at lutechlightingservices.com. And that's LUTECH lighting services with an S on the end.com. But we do electrical lighting services. I got a couple of bucket trucks where we boom up and do parking lot pole lights and all of that stuff, building signs and stuff. So with that business, we reinvest the money that we're making from it. They're taking your business owner, you're paying 65% tax now. So that means you're walking away with 35%. Of your money, unless you are a smart investor. Yeah, you have to be a smart investor. Right. People see you have a business, and a lot of people will take that as, oh, this guy's got a lot of money. He's rich. He's well off, and they don't understand that it takes overhead and a lot of government officials tabbing in on your account to. It takes a lot. It's a lot of that activity going on. So the smart business owners. The smart small business owners, they have to invest. So that's what we've been doing. We've been trying to find smaller things to invest in. And it's always a good thing to do that too, is because we don't want to draw off the company for that long. I would rather draw off the company till we can't, till there's other forms of income coming in, and then we stop drawing off the company and just draw off the income, the residual income we got coming in. But real estate is, I mean, that's one of the biggest and easiest and fastest and best ways to create a long-term residual return. And we've done, the group that I'm in, the TAMIC investment group, we've done a lot of looking into real estate. But guess what? A lot of us don't have time. We do not have time to flip houses and to do this normal stuff that these other real estate companies are doing. So your idea of creating residual wealth is like the pinnacle of the person who wants to retires. It should be the pinnacle of their list. You said you started just under 2 years ago, and you guys are already making a march towards even bigger investments. So that just shows, it just goes to show that the investment tool is working for you. And if it's working for you, it can work for someone else. You've told our viewers and our listeners that the best thing to do is to go out and get a coach. It speeds things up a little bit. Now, coaching costs money, but
it does.
It's an investment.
It's an investment too.
Yes. Yep. So you continuously invest in yourself. Your husband is continuously investing in himself. You guys are taking what you're investing in yourself and you're putting it into your investment, which is in making another investment. So you guys are doing really, 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 really good.
We love it.
What would you say would be the downside to doing what you guys do?
Well, it depends what you don't like to do. So a lot of people, on the way to figuring out what systems they have to have in place, they go crazy up until the point where they realize that. So I feel like that has happened to us a couple times where we're like, we need to, get a bookkeeper or whatever.
Yeah.
So it depends what you're not comfortable doing. I know a lot of people are not comfortable, for example, talking to investors.
Yeah.
I am, but I feel like that was a hurdle I had to get over. That wasn't easy at first. You don't want to sound like you're selling something.
Right.
And you're really not. I mean, it's like a win for them, but in a way, like they need you and you also need them.
Yeah.
You can't buy these huge apartment buildings without them, but at the same time, they benefit from being part of it. So, one of the roles that I have on our team is like raising capital. It's not my only role, but it's one of my roles. So I have to
stay on it.
Brave. I have to get 3 minutes to 3 seconds of courage sometimes.
Right.
That's what Bob Khalif says. He's like, you just need to have 3 seconds of courage to go talk to somebody new, And I got to do that sometimes. It's not comfortable all the time.
Right.
But that can be hard. And then, even though, here's the thing we love about it is that it can create time freedom from a 9 to 5.
Yes.
But it can also be, it's a little bit of being on call too. If you're that active investor, where you have a whole lot of work to do when you're doing due diligence on a property or something, you have a whole lot of work for 3 weeks. And then you can kind of ride easy for a long time, too. But for those 3 weeks, you're like, sorry, I'm busy.
It's time. What's that time block? I'm blocked out.
Blocked out.
3 weeks. Yeah. So you said what's interesting is how you speak about the approach on investors. So let me tell you how we are setting our approach up. So what we've done is we've created a portfolio of all of our members with from strong point to not so strong point. We've all given our little stories of who we are, what we're invested in, where we come from, our businesses we own, or whatever our accolades are. Right. And we have our mission statement and what we're trying to do as a organization, and how we are trying to change the game with investors and change the game with investors and how investors are approached. It's like a car salesman. When you step on a lot, the first thing that you in your mind is going to happen is someone's going to target you, and then they're going to approach you, and it gets awkward sometimes, and sometimes you're ready for it, so you want it and you're expecting it, but a lot of times some people might not want that. So this is what we do.
Yeah.
We have pretty much created a system to where we basically tell the investor, we give them the option. We tell them, look, we don't want to, we're basically not begging you. We are coming here to offer you a service. So we basically come to them like it's a service, and we say, we're offering you a service. This is our portfolio of who we are and what we do. We bring ideas, and no matter if it's real estate ideas or small business ideas, if you have money that you need to get rid of, instead of you having to go searching all over the place for, I got tax money, there's tax season, they're about to take $48,000 from me, I need somewhere to put it. All you have to do is call us. We got non-disclosure agreements where we can sit down with you and we can sign some non-disclosure agreements, and we can show you some house ideas that we have where money can go, or we have these business plans, and we have a ton of business plans, some ranging from $100,000 all the way down to $50,000 to get started. We have higher end ones that are in the millions, but whatever you need, we can tailor that for you. So we kind of present ourselves as a service. Yeah, and if the investor, and then we leave them. We don't even ask for contact information. We just leave them the portfolio and the contact information. And we offer them to another second meet, but then that second meet's going to be in our environment where now we have the stage. And of course, if you get a second meet, of course, you're standing a bigger and better chance of getting somewhere with it. But I think it takes the ease off of the pressure that one might feel approaching someone about the serious subject, So, and I think that's so, and we're just implementing this system. We're in the process of going around to all of the investment companies, because we're just literally just going to each investment company and just having a couple people sit down with them, talk, let them know this is where we are, this is our portfolio, just giving them our pamphlet, small conversation, out the door. Next person. And once you clean up the city, once you do your whole route through the city, you wait a little bit, and then you go right back all the way through the same people. And guess what? The first time you went, it might have been a little shaky, but the next time you go now you've been there, now you're comfortable, now you've been doing this for so long that now your personality, like yours, is going to shine a lot brighter. So, and I think if people approached it like that, I think it would be a little more easier for an investor to say, hey, man, these guys are structured. I like this. They're giving me an option. They're not harassing me. Right. And it just makes it a little easier for us. So, but that's just an idea I have.
I love that. I love that. Something I learned, from speaking to other people who do this exact same thing. I'm like, how did you approach, this person that you've known for a long time? For example, someone in your life that you've known for a long time, and you don't want to sound like you're trying to, like, I need you to be part of this thing.
Yeah.
And they were like, just remember, it's an opportunity. Like, you're offering an opportunity. You're not trying to sell them something.
Mm-hmm. Do me a favor.
Do a mind shift on that.
Do me a favor, when you get a chance, go to YouTube. On YouTube, TAMIC. Just type that into the YouTube window and look for a video. And just watch the video, and it'll give you an idea of what our organization, that organization is doing. But you're right. The approach is always the hardest part to get over. But once you the easiest part about making the approach is being relaxed, keeping things short, and showing some sort of structure. And that's how people I think that's just like the trust barrier. Now you're gaining, you've overstepped the annoying stage of, oh my God, here we go again. Someone else. You step past that annoying stage because now they're aware that this isn't going to take that long. And then you show them structure by your portfolio, and you just give them a card, a 5-minute pocket speech, and you're out the door. Next person. I'm not about to waste your time, and my time is very valuable. So we're going to get up out of here. But thank you for listening. And
Right.
so,
right.
But
yeah, my favorite thing too, like I'm trying to do more of this is when I have myself just kind of out there, like on a podcast, or on my website or on my own YouTube channel, which I'm just getting started. I have a couple of videos. I have people come to me. That's so much better.
That's
and I get people that are like, oh my gosh, hey, wait, is that real? That return that you were talking about, is that real?
Yep.
Yes, it is real. So that, that's what you're looking for, is people that were already kind of looking for something. They were looking for a place to park their money. They're maybe not wanting to put it in the stock market right now. It's like kind of volatile right now. And it's just like, I feel really good about giving that to them because I feel confident in it. And I know that the people that I'm working with have been doing it for a long time and they've got a great track record. So yeah, I feel like it's going to get better and better, and it's going to be less of me approaching anybody and a lot more of them approaching me. That's my goal, is like get it to all, just, I don't even have to go anywhere,
Yeah.
I've only been doing this for 2 years.
2 years. 2 years.
I haven't been doing the big apartments for 2 years. That's just when we started investing. So
Right. So you got A and B, and you started
leveraging
A.
I'm leveraging the experience of my partners. There's no question about that. So.
That's what's up, man. I really appreciate this interview, especially the second go around. And I know we can't stay here forever because, of course, we probably talk and talk and talk and talk. You just got that personality, Hilary. But how can the viewers reach out to you for more information, for more information, and for just maybe a quick guide to get started, or maybe they might want to invest alongside you or with your organization? How could they do that? Give us some of your points of how they can contact you.
Yeah, our website is www.brightsoundinvestments.com. So that's BRIGHT, sound investments with an S.com. Or if they would like a little ebook that our company made that is like just kind of walks you through like the main thing that we do. And if you are a passive investor, or you're looking to be a passive investor, and you want to see like what happens with your money and why is real estate a good idea, what are the tax benefits and all of that, which the tax benefits, we didn't even talk about that, but they're awesome. But you can just email me, actually, Hilary@brightsoundinvestments.com. And that's Hilary with one L, Hilary.
And the L is for Lee.
That's right.
Are you on Facebook, Instagram?
I'm on Insta, on LinkedIn. Yep. So Instagram is
just Hilary Graves.
No, it's bright_sound_investments.
Yes, and I'm following that too.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, I'm following you too, man. And then LinkedIn is Hilary Graves. Yeah.
Hilary Graves. Yep, and I'm friends with you on LinkedIn too.
Sweet.
You know what time it is. This is the part of the interview where you leave our guests with a beautiful message.
Guys and gals, you have what it takes. You already have what it takes. You don't have to read 50 books. You don't have to work on yourself more. You don't have to lose weight before you have what it takes. You already have what it takes. And if you have a dream, start working for it today. Don't wait. Don't wait.
Right.
Life is short. So I believe in you. Believe in yourself.
Believe in yourself, man. That's, it's a easy, simple. They're just simple words to say. And as simple as those words are, Hillary, that's as simple it is to believe in yourself. And crazy thing about it is we believe in ourselves every day, all day, every single one of us, because if we didn't believe, we wouldn't believe that we can open the door. We wouldn't believe that we can make it to the bathroom, or we wouldn't believe that we can cook our next meal. Or belief is all around us. It's just, you just got to keep believing. And sometimes you got to deep believe. You got to believe deeply in certain things to get you where you want to go. And I've noticed that here in the last 10 years of my life, I got real deep with belief. And that deepness has gotten me so much farther than I've ever gotten in my life. So wonderful statement. Wonderful statement. Thank you so much, Hillary. Thank you for enduring all these issues and problems. But I do want to let you know, and I want to let the other audience members know that this is a pioneer stunt. Hillary, you are the first Zoom video call of the First Cup KC. So
proud.
Yes, this is a proud moment. This is a
yeah, man. Like, thank you.
So thank you for being patient. Yeah, thank you for being so patient. I'm gonna keep an eye out on you, and I'll reach out to my investment group, and we'll get together on something, and we'll reach out to you. And I think we might want to start talking a little bit more about that. But I don't want to shoot out the door right quick, because there's a message that I want you to get off right quick, because you did say something about the taxes. Give us a quick shot about that right quick, just so people know about this tax break.
Yeah, well, okay, so there's this magical thing called depreciation. You might have heard of it.
Yes.
It is a real estate investor's best friend. The government basically incentivizes what they want to happen in the economy. They incentivize certain sectors of the population and the job workforce. So they incentivize real estate investors because we provide housing. Yes. And they don't want to do that themselves. And the way that they do that is they give us the magical gift of depreciation. I'm not even going to explain what it is, because I don't even need to go into it. Look it up. Mm-hmm. It's basically lowers your taxable income, even though you're making money. Like, it doesn't even make sense.
Yes.
They give you this huge tax break, all real estate investors. So that thing where I said, like, you can double your money in 5 years, more or less. That's usually after taxes.
Really?
That's after taxes. Yeah. So, and here's a little takeaway that I have. I'm actually still working. I didn't even put it out yet. I made a rough draft of a video about tax benefits of real estate. And I was kind of researching it by interviewing my own CPA.
Really?
And so I was just over the phone, I'm like, hey, can I ask you some questions? And I might put some of this in my video. He's like, sure. And some of what he said went over my head. I'm not going to lie. Like, he told me the things that I kind of knew, and I wanted him to just make sure I was understanding this correctly about depreciation and, how it benefits investors. At the end of the conversation, he said, I invest in what you do. He's like, I invest in syndications for big apartment buildings. He goes, so if that should tell you anything about the tax benefits of it, your CPA does it.
Man.
So I'm like, boom, that's awesome. Like that was a golden nugget right there. So if my CPA, the tax guy, like the expert in taxes, is investing in apartment syndications, maybe you should think about it.
Yeah.
That's all.
Maybe you should. Hilary Lee Graves, thank you so much for being a guest on the show. I really, really look forward to talking with you again soon, very, very soon. We will stay in contact. Like I said, you keep doing what you're doing. You keep putting people in houses, and you keep growing your wealth.
I plan on it. You keep being awesome, man.
Thank
It
you.
was great to talk to you.
Thank you guys for joining us for another episode of the First Cup KC. We hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your weekend. And as always, stay positive, people. Peace.